会場の皆様、一緒にカウントダウンをお願いします。3、
opponents are matched up against each other. Snipe Hunters versus Team 7.
You're off his fingers, hoping to go first, I'd imagine.
Absolutely.
Or maybe just hoping to win.
And as always, on table A for the first game, we are gonna see a battle of the leaders between Josh and Ray in this case.
Reminder that the winners qualified were able to pick their teams. Both of these teams were picked well, as they're, of course, the representatives in the finals. So Ray, going first, seems to be playing that Sprite package.
Nimble Beaver, a great start. Going to open up access to Sprite Sprint. Got to play multiple copies of Nimble Angler so you can summon one with that Nimble Beaver and still send a Nimble Angler to summon 2 more Nimble Beavers from the deck with Sprite Sprint. It looks like he's just going to go into Gigantic first, playing around stuff like Nibiru the Primal Being. Heads up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like there is any response at all from Josh.
Yeah, if there's a Maxi, you're dropping that down. If there's an Ash, maybe you're using it here.
Absolutely. And here, I mean, we can expect 2 different decks. We have seen Josh multiple times already. And the 2 decks that he was using yesterday were Naturia, Runic, which was also the only Runic deck we have seen in action, and Dragon Link.
So we see why he went for that Gigantic Sprite instead of the Sprint first. He actually had that second copy of Angler in the hand, so he's able to get the Swap Frog and discard as a cost to be able to trigger that Nimble Angler to summon the 2 Beavers from the deck.
Ray showing a deep understanding of the combos, respecting his deck and knowing how to play it. We have a lot of 2-stars on the field right now. Assuming we're going to go into an Elf here, usually that is where the Sprite board wants to go.
Those arrows are pointing the right way. You're right there.
And now, most likely, we've been seeing if it's the Melty package, it's not. It's actually Sprite Sprint, so we're not yet going into another Xyz. Instead, we are linking.
This is a very heads-up play, as he has gone through the Anglers, so that's what you usually send with the Sprint. Instead, thanks to the Elf, he can send the blue and get it back.
Oh, that, again, very creative from Ray.
Yeah.
Be able to go into Sprite Jet and add a Sprite Spell or Trap card from the deck to the hand. Got a couple of options. He's going to go for Sprite Starter. It means he's trying to get access to a Sprite Red or a Sprite Carrot, be able to negate a monster or a spell and trap effect.
It is rough that Josh opened no interruptions in hand. You want an Maxi, you want an Ash, even an Infinite Impermanence would feel nice.
Yeah, and the consistency of Sprite is really what shines for this deck. Just being able to open up with a copy of Nimble Beaver and really just send you on your way with 1 card.
And as you can see, Josh is actually speaking to his teammates right now. Maybe as he doesn't have many responses, he can focus on their games and trying to help him out at the same time.
That's a good part to highlight. I mean, if you don't have interaction in your hand, might as well watch. Also, it gives you information of what your opponents are opening with, which dual decks they're choosing to play for that first duel.
And that Melfi of the Forest added that Melfi Caddy. Such an awesome card. You're able to special summon during the end phase, and then during your opponent's turn, it'll be able to return to the hand and add a beast, including Melfi Penny, which will be exciting for some interruptions to the turn.
Generally, that is where they end up with.
Yeah, I really like it if you draw the Penny, you're able to add something like Nimble Beaver or a different beast from the deck as well.
But seems like that's about it, and this is an impressive field with 3 face downs.
And he sets the Sprite Starter, right? So you have to be careful with the Melfi cards and the Sprite Starter, because if you want to go into the level 4 Synchro, you're going to be have to do it before you use the
Sprite Starter just brought out
you actually
use it on the carrot.
Yeah.
You could have another Sprite Starter.
There could be. Could be a Smashers, could be a Gamma Burst, could be a lot of things. Infinite Impermanence is a very popular one, called by the Great. Josh does not know. That is the important part to highlight. Josh will have to play through a fearsome field and 3 unknown back rows.
Dark Ruin or more, notoriously really good against Sprite.
Yeah.
But if you're having it in your deck here, might not be the case.
So what do you think, Billy, would be better if Josh was on the Naturia deck or on the Dragon deck? Okay, I guess now.
I'm going to say Naturia just for his sake. Hopefully it is the Runic deck.
It is, it is.
Has to target the Sprite Elf, has that targeting protection, just an extra bonus to Sprite Elf.
Yeah, so now he's gonna think about either going for that carrot. He cannot use Masquerena because we are in the draw phase.
Yeah. Important to note, these quick play spells can't dodge out on Masquerena. So what does Ray want to do here? There's also those back row. I'm expecting one of them to be, I think the most likely ones would be things like Called by the Grave, Infinite Impermanence, if they're running that one.
I think I saved the carrot here against Runic. I really like to use carrot against Runic Fountain more than the Runic quick play spells because you really want to prevent them from refilling their hand by drawing those 3 cards.
I mean,
Let's do it.
he goes for it. I was oh wow,
and it's the
getting rid of
caddy.
Caddy instead of the Melvie the Forest. I think that means he has something like Sprite double cross set.
Well,
I mean,
you
I
got
guess-
the sprint, so
No.
I guess you want that Xyz material for sprint.
Sprint or yeah, double cross
Because you
both.
can just use the rat to get it back also.
Good point. Yeah. I'm imagining with help on the field, we could get that caddy back any moment here.
Dispelling great at summoning a monster.
Yeah, and he's probably gonna chain it here on the caddy, as mentioned. Makes sense.
The way Ray plays this deck is so satisfying to watch. I mean, sometimes you open up those types of cards, you're like, oh, I got a Beaver and an Angler. Well, I mean, everything worked out. Like, this is still a full-powered sprite and field.
But at the same time, table C is over, and the win goes to Snipe Hunters. Emre with that Exo Sister deck taking the win.
Incredible.
win.
Yeah, that was lightning fast.
So since the monster was summoned, it's going to trigger the Melvie Caddy, so you'll be able to return that to hand and add a beast.
Generally, it will be that penny. Like you had mentioned, the 2-star tuner lets you synchro summon with something in your hand, the Melvie in hand. That will be a 4-star. And we do have Infinite Impermanence.
Yeah, the name of the game, stopping Runic Fountain from connecting, is really good against any Runic strategy.
That seems like it's a very rough start from Josh.
Yeah, the best part about Melvie Penny, as long as the beast returned to your hand, it has that quick effect to special summon any time during the turn. So you can wait till the exact moment you want to do it.
Yeah, but at least as mentioned, he had that Sacred Tree, so he can go grab either Mole Cricket, which is usually one of the greatest options.
Okay, now we're going for the penny. If you can get Herald of the Arclight out on the field now, it feels incredible. You have the negate. You're really messing with the graveyard setup of the Runic deck, and it's just so hard to get through because it's not just that. It will also be the sprint. It will also be the IP Master.
The Herald of the Arclight, yeah, definitely looking to just more ways to make sure Runic Fountain doesn't connect, or being able to stop something like Naturia Mole Cricket, like I said, very huge.
Let's catch up on table B while Josh continues on with the
Yeah,
turn.
it
See
seems
what's
like
going on down there.
Quanto got a pretty good start here with the Tier Element deck against a Dragon Link deck from Carmano.
Yeah, it looks like in pretty controlling position with that Kaleido Heart and Scream on the field.
We've also the Pierre Feller Rhino.
You're right.
There we go. Look at that. Infinite Impermanence called by the grave. We're both set. And we're going to chain Naturia Blessing.
Oh, that's really big. Being able to get the Naturia monster out of the graveyard, the call by the grave won't resolve, and the Mole Crew will be on the field. This might prompt a response here.
Herald of the Arclight, you could just choose to negate now.
Exactly. I think you might have to.
I think so as
I
well.
would. But again, I've been wrong before. Let's see what Ray's reading right now. You still do have the IP Masquerena and the Sprint.
I see a Hovness being triggered
Yeah,
down there on
Hovness.
game number 2 versus Striker Dragon. Going to be sending a lot of cards from the deck to the graveyard.
It looks, if table B goes in favor of blue team, even if Josh is behind here, even if Josh is struggling, as the Herald of the Arclight will negate, it's a good start for Snipe Hunters. They've already won the first round, or rather the first duel, and it seems like table B is going to be a victory for them as well.
I love the animations in Master Duel. Called by the Graves, Dark Ruler No More actually has a really cool one that I like a lot.
Ooh, and a Magnamud on table B at the same time, while on table A, it seems like Josh is struggling with 2 cards in hand, and his face sets one. Wow.
Sets another.
This might be it for Josh next turn.
Yeah, this game not looking great.
Oh, that is not ideal. And we have the Smashers. What did I say? The back row for Sprite is a little predictable, and it was the usual suspects. Goodbye to that one back row, and it looks like goodbye to Josh in this first duel. They got 1 card in hand, 1 monster on field, and Ray has many options.
Raven Dye, YCS champion in his own right. No reason to believe he can't take down a high caliber player like Joshua Schmidt.
Yeah, good start.
Yeah, and this is honestly what a show of skills from Ray. He piloted the deck in a very unusual way as well, with that sprint sending, you know, the Sprite.
The Sprite blue, I don't see that very often at all. Really creative.
Creativity.
No Gamma Burst.
I love this card. It is the one that says this duel is over.
Yeah, Josh knows the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, and he just focuses on Quantum Fin game instead. Makes sense. want to prioritize making sure that the table B at least locks that win.
Table B could be the big decider here. It looks like Table C and A are going to be 1-1 for the teams. It is first to 5 victories across all 3 potential games. Here's the attacks from Ray.
Damage
Step has the Sprite Gamma Burst. Ray, with these attacks, will take down Josh. There's nothing that Josh will have in hand that can stop this against the Sprite Carrot and a red. So Ray is victorious in his first duel, which means Table B will determine who is ahead after game 1.
1-1. So there we are. As mentioned, Quantum Thing, really good spot at the moment. But some bestials on the Dragon Link deck from Carmano.
Carmano went first. We're in turn 3, main phase 1.
Yeah.
So Carmano set up a field. It was cracked by Quantum Thing.
Yeah.
And now you got to play through all of this.
It's tough.
I was looking at it and I'm pretty sure he just got it with that Max C and he decided to completely pass. So that's what happened, and now he's trying, to fight back from this threatening field from Quantal.
Bishop Baldrake, fantastic card, and we have the Lubellion in the graveyard.
Gonna be able to tribute that Baldrake to summon back the Beast of Lubellion. Let's see if he has a Branded Spell or Trap he's gonna be able to activate from his deck. It looks like he is gonna place one to the Spell and Trap card zone.
And a Saliak. Wow.
Soliak with Kaleido Heart, incredible combination. Or you could send the Hovness and fusion summon that way. You could send the Kaleido Heart, it comes back and sends that Aqua Monster from your deck to the graveyard. Looks like he's just gonna go with the Hovness, going directly into a fusion summon.
Let's see if there is another Bestial in the end to stop this Hovness.
Yep, and the Kaleido Heart effect triggers since an Aqua Monster was sent to the graveyard, it can return a card on the opponent's side of the field back into the deck.
Yeah. That doesn't seem to be the case, so this makes it very hard for Carmano to fight back with only 3,100 life points left.
I missed this card, Telements Kictalis. One of the best Yuga cards ever, in my personal opinion.
Very powerful card. I remember pulling 3 of this in my first box opening.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's that. Telements Rhino Heart for follow-up.
Okay, we see
cast
the
space
cow
in the graveyard.
space.
This is one of the powerful aspects of the Dragon Link deck, is that you still have many plays. The playbook goes very deep.
I think he's shaking his head. He doesn't seem happy, and he passed back. That's it.
End phase. That should be game. Quantum Link only needs to do 3,100, has more than enough just on the field presently.
Advantage looks like it's going to Team Snipe Hunters.
Yeah. Even though their leader lost, they are still on the edge of just winning this sets of game 1.
And we are going to play safe still from Quantum Think. Isn't just accepting Carmano's pass as a signal that this game's over. Still wants to go into more cards.
Yeah, the Kikalis is going to send 5. The Stream is going to send 3. The Rhino's going to be able to send any Tearless card. This game is all but over.
Yeah, we're just going through the motions. All's done but the crying, as it looks like Snipe Hunters will be up 2-1 after game 1 here. Pivotal that Team 7 still picked up 1 win, though. A reminder that it can end in 2 games worth of duels.
Yeah,
Snipe Hunters will need to sweep the next one,
next round, next game.
That's still a possibility. Quantal is just making sure, because he knew that there was a Magnamut in the end from Carmano, but this is not enough to save him at this point.
Yeah, now the Rukalis is down. It's all but over. He just needs to move the battle phase. After he finishes resolving his chain links, the Kictalis was summoned on Ryan's turn. Now he's summoning on his turn to be able to add, using both effects. Or he's just going to go ahead and use his Effusion material right away. He's going to something like Protoplan Drago Stapelia.
Okay. We're just trying to insulate against any other cards that Carmano could have in hand. And there we go. Game 1. Advantage to Snipe Hunters and advantage to the European representatives.
Well played nonetheless by everyone here. But as you mentioned, now we are moving on to the second sets of duels, as our players will actually switch over their opponents.
Yeah, the opponents switch, and this is where it also gets interesting. Let's catch Billy up, because this is where the decks can change.
Little game of musical chairs.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 to know. Either way, like what your opponent's going to be playing, so you still have to guess in a way of like, okay, we can't assume they'll play the last one. And oftentimes, who wins this next round is the one that makes the correct read, Marcello, of actually knowing the deck to play.
Absolutely. I gotta say, it's also interesting the way they are paired up against. For example, we saw Jesse Cotton losing round 1 because he was up against Emre, and arguably that's his worst matchup because he's gonna be facing against either Exosister or Labyrinth, and he's the one with the tier deck, you know. So maybe that's what happened. But now I feel like he could just keep playing a tier element, and worst case scenario, if he's up against Quantal, that's a mirror match, and he is very experienced with it.
You know, I wonder if Jesse does switch to his other deck, because I mean, he's really well known for playing tier elements. You know, during that format during the TCG, he dominated the game. Multiple YCS finals, wins, everything. So maybe they're going to have something lined up for him, knowing to switch into the tier elements. Maybe Jesse can catch him off guard, switching into his other strategy. But I think Jesse's favorite card, Fairy Tale Snow. Hard for me to believe on the World Championship stage, he's not going to believe in Fairy Tale Snow.
That, you know, that's a good point. The fun part, though, is the layers of mind games. Because if you thought about it, maybe the opponents on stage thought about it and thought, oh, Jesse's not going to play the tier elements again because he always plays tier elements. He's probably going to try something different now. And then you try and counter that. The layers just keep going, and at some point the decision has to be made. The players are on stage deciding right now, and this could be pivotal because, as we had said, there is a chance that it ends here if Europe's able to 3-0 in this game. Not expected, but if they can, they could be champions already.
Yeah, so close they can taste it. Knowing that they have that opportunity, they might try even harder just to really focus, because this is the closest they've been all tournament to becoming the world champions. First ever Master Duel World Champions.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned, now still a chance, but the opponents changed, and what I want to see is some switches now, because sometimes it depends on what you're playing against, and this adds another layer to what we mentioned. So now I'm thinking that also the first time that we have seen Josh losing in game 1, usually it was always the players carrying. No, not ever, I guess. Ever is maybe too much.
Impressive career.
But yeah, we've seen him really helping out his team yesterday, and now he's on the opposite direction. So yeah, I mean, he's obviously experienced, but let's see if he can keep his composure and, you know, keep helping out the team.
Yeah, same for Ryan also losing that game 1. You know, losing game 1, it's all about keeping your composure. Good way of putting it. You just have to stay focused and realize you can come back. There is a chance, even though you're down, you're not out.
Yeah, I gotta say, I am surprised that we're seeing Exosister played in the first duel so often.
Yeah,
it's been very prevalent. I thought it was going to be more of a secondary deck that, you know, comes out after the fact once you know who your opponents are going to be, but no, we're just seeing it thrown out immediately.
I mean, maybe, as you mentioned, we went through a lot of different duels yesterday, word spread, and there is a chance that he knows, as you mentioned, Jesse Cotton is known for being a tier element master. So that's what he did. Emre got rewarded, and as you mentioned, might be the underdog on the team, but for now he has won his first game.
Quickly, too. He was one of the first ones finished.
That was very
I barely got to see what even happened in that match. I was seeing some Exosister Xyz monsters pop up. I think I saw a Magnifica, maybe. It was pretty crazy.
So it's good to have Marcello on, because I swear there's a third eye somewhere, and all are looking at a different screen. So all the information's processing. You could probably take us through everything that happened in that duel.
Absolutely, I can try. Not even
live in front of the audience.
I can. I did. I was watching that. Yeah, I did.
You'll catch us up during the next duel.
I mean, what happened though, which I did catch, was that he won the coin flip. So that was an important one in that matchup, I gotta say, because the tier element deck obviously I'm favorite in general, but when it goes first, sometimes that Fairy Tale Snow, you know, can help out, especially against the Exosister. But I mean, that's part of the game. That's what happens, and it's also part of how you're picking your deck, I guess.
I mean, Raymond Dye, you know, I expected him going into this thing. I thought he was going to be the one that was going to be bringing Exosisters as his main deck. That is the deck he won a YCS with this past year. So I know I think he also used it a lot in the qualifiers to get here. I know that was one of the decks that I saw a lot of people encountering on their way, because a lot of tier element, a lot of Exosisters to counter it. Same kind of thing playing out here at the World Championship.
We still have a little bit of time before the players will be ready on stage, so I want to dive a little bit more into some of the players and the history of them, because Ray, like you said, a legend in his own right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the first time I met him, it was at the last World Championship, and we got to talk a lot, and he's just a well-rounded player, and he's stayed consistent with it throughout these 4 years, even just winning that YCS this year. And then, you know, just being able to qualify for the World Championship Master Duel is extremely hard. Now, not taking away from the 2 people that he invited, but being the one that is doing the inviting, that has to mean something.
Absolutely, it does, and he is the leader of the team. But I think he picked some pretty decent players, right?
The former world champion, one of the best in the game of all time.
And I will say, I think that it speaks to the prestige of this being the first Master Duel World Championships as well. Being willing to play here when presumably there could be other options for some of these duels of like, okay, which one am I going to try and grind to and get to? So
yeah,
I
think we got a plan. Next year, you do the grinding and then you invite us over.
Yeah, you do the hard work. We'll tag along.
I can do this.
We'll come from here up on the stage.
Come on.
We believe in you, Ken.
I have a really good Dogmatica deck. Nadir Servant, one of my favorite cards. So
it's a
do
great
you think it's good enough?
It could be by this. Well, who knows next year?
That's true.
You never
everybody
know.
from Konami's listening, just print some more Dogmatica support. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
We're starving out here.
Sounds like a
They
plan.
do have a lot of support, but there could be more always.
There could be more.
I think you might be the only one that wants that to
Yeah,
continue.
you know what? Now that I think about it. But we are getting ready to hop into the second game. Will Europe sweep here and end it now, or will North America strike back? Team 7 taking on Snipe Hunters now. The opponents have swapped up. The decks maybe have swapped up. Yet to know currently.
As we can see, though, that are the matchups. So Josh is going to be playing against the Carmano, while Quantal is going to be playing against Jesse. Let's see. We most likely will jump into table 2. So table B, let's see.
I love this intro for the World Championship.
Yes.
This is sweet.
I love to let the tension build because you know these players are feeling that tension as well. You see their faces, you see the concentration and the focus that all of them have to exhibit. Team 7 communicating a little bit, probably
And
saying who's
here
going
they are,
first,
and we
and
see
just
a
a blind
Maxi
Maxi.
in the draw phase. Wow.
Yeah, probably trying to play around something like Triple Tactic Talent. You want to use that before they'll be able to also have access to that, since Triple Tactic Talent's only main phase.
That's a good point.
Follows it up with that Rhino Heart's normal summon to Sin Hovness. This is where you could be weak to something like Infinite Impermanence, but nothing there to respond to it. And he's going to be able to go straight into Tier Limit 6 Hollows.
So if Jesse stick with his deck, we might be in for a Tier Limit mirror match in this one.
And we do see in table C the classic Ash blocking a Maxi here.
Yeah.
And it looks maybe. We see Ecclesia the Virtuous, a Sword Soul coming out at table C.
Raymond dies switching over to Sword Soul,
I really like the start from Quantal thing. So Tier Limits can kind of play into Maxi just a little bit, because you can just go into Kictalos, grab Tier Limit Soliac, and you'll be able to use that Soliac to send Kictalos to your opponent's turn, and that gives you the opportunity to send 5 cards from your deck to the graveyard.
Yeah.
And we see, it's gonna be a mirror match for this one. Let's see if Jesse is the Tier Limit master, as many of them called it.
We knocked him up, and this is the opportunity to prove it.
Tier Limit Scream is huge, so even if something happens to stop this Rhino Heart like Tier Limit Soliac, which I can only imagine will be happening, you're still going to be able to send those 3 cards, hopefully hit a Tier Limit monster, or maybe a Mudora or a Keldo, which will be really advantageous in this mirror match. I see a Heartbeat.
Yeah, for now, it will resolve. Obviously, this is a matchup that we have seen plenty of time, even in the TCG, as you mentioned, Jesse having great success with it. Multiple YCS finals during that format.
There was a whole format in TCG where this was the deck to play.
Oh, wow, and he goes for the Kelbeck in the mirror match.
I think you just have to do it sometimes, especially if you don't have any plays to really keep going. And I see Nagito also milled.
Yeah, I was going to say this Kickalos for Quantal thing could be pivotal, but getting an additional 5 cards sent
could be huge.
Also could be huge. Let's see what was sent from either player.
Yeah, when you're sending those 5 cards from there for graveyard in the mirror match, you really want to hit that Keldo or Medora to be able to respond to that your opponent's chain links. Just shuffle back those Tier Limit monsters. But he's going to go into Kictalos, trigger, Scream.
All right, well, Jesse Cotton showing that only one of them has the special rarity, Kickalos. So,
yeah, that Royal Rare is beautiful. And he also has that Royal Rare Agito, the Ancient Sentinel.
Beautiful.
So he's going to send another 5 from both players' decks. I have to imagine he hit a Keldo or a Medora potentially on that first 3. Because usually I don't want to send the additional 5 unless I have a way to shuffle back my opponent's cards.
Or maybe it's possible that also Quantal eat any of those cards and then he just doesn't feel like he has enough to push here.
True.
A lot of unknown information, but the players are making their decisions. We have the Rhino Heart and then the Scream coming in from Quantal Thing.
So it looks like nothing's being shuffled back. The cards are resolving. The Scream's going to have Meta Noise. Rhino Heart will come to the field. Yep, going to be able to discard that Meta Noise. That'll let him add back a Tier Elements monster from the graveyard. Scream's going to let him add a Tier Elements trap from the deck to the hand.
Yeah, and we didn't mention that Chain Link 6 was impressive on Duel Links, but this is a matchup where you can get to that Chain Link 12 even.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 6 is nothing.
yeah.
We're probably going to see
I don't think he added anything from the Scream. He might have sent all of his traps from the deck to the graveyard from those two
Yeah, that was
effects.
unlucky. And as you can see here, that is confirmed by the activation of the Salyak. Which, by the way, is limited to
5 more cards. 5 more cards.
Mirror match, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Even with all the cards limited to 1, they're still going to end up hitting the graveyard.
No one's taking any damage. We expect this to be a long and grindy duel.
So
Let's try and catch up on a
Darren?
little bit of what's happening on table A and table C while these combos go through.
Yeah,
See a
it's in-
Sword Soul board established with that Chi-Chao and Baron on table C.
Yeah.
which is gonna be up against the Labyrinth deck from Emre.
Ooh.
So that's a very good opening though from Raymond. On the other side, it seems like they both, I guess, yeah, Joshua's moved over to the Naturia Runic deck, but he had an opening with just a lot of Runic cards. He's 7 cards in his hand at the moment.
Runa can draw through all of that. Maybe it was a maxi. We'll have to wait and see, as table C has also had some interactions. Not catching back up on table B here. Look at that. We finally resolved the chain links.
And then it's just a Merely and a Hovness, 1 from each side. Both players going to fusion summon here. Quantum think when it's your opponent's turn and you're using your fusion summon, you're looking to go into Predaplant Dragocepelia, Tier Elements Kaleido Heart. Looks like he does have the proper materials, so he's going to be able to go into that Kaleido Heart. Still hasn't had to use any of his face down spell or trap cards quite yet.
That's pretty intimidating for Jesse Cotton to keep track of what those could possibly be. A reminder that Quantum Think is assembling all of this off of Get Close Set 3 Pass under the Maxi.
Ooh, but we see RP Feather Duster from Raymond. Sorry to interrupt there. But wow.
Good news for Ray. Against the Labyrinth deck, that's one of the best cards you can get.
Jesse also fusion summoning for his own Tier Elements Kaleido Heart.
Yeah, this is considered by many one of the most technical matchups probably of all time
It's
in
up there.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Some people loved it. Some people hated it when it was in the TCG. It is here in Master Duel. What are your thoughts, Billy?
I
requires
love it.
a deep understanding of the matchup.
It does. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot to keep track of. You might have a small little headache afterwards, but it's really rewarding when you feel like it all comes together.
Yeah, I think that's why we see, even if Jesse Cotton, maybe the read is, oh yeah, he's going to play this deck. That's why you put him on the deck, is because you need to understand these matchups,
We
these
see the-
intricacies.
We see the Kaleido Hearts trade effects with one another,
Yep.
both targeting each other, sending them both back into the extra decks.
Very funny interaction.
I mean, this is a pure mirror match, right? We saw 2 Kaleido Hearts, 2 Rhino Hearts, and 2 Kick Hollows, both on either
Yeah.
side. And there's an actual mirror in between these 2 fields.
That's true.
Literally, yeah, you're on to
Doesn't
something.
get more than that.
Now, Teal and Sharon that he added off that Soliak. Usually you go for Hovness or Sharon, and Sharon's going to be able to discard the special
Ooh.
summon and send the top 3 cards from the deck to the graveyard.
Interesting though, we see a Pot of Desires getting sent from the deck. Not a popular choice, I gotta say, for this deck. So an interesting build here.
Yeah, I
Kelbeck
think
from
he
the
might
hand.
have used it in the TCG as well.
Yeah.
Oh, but Kelbeck in the hand.
Yeah.
The cards are
Nice.
sent from your opponent's deck to the graveyard. You can special summon it. Then you're going to be able to target a special summon monster in your opponent's side of the field, return to the extra deck. Really good at getting rid of Kicked Hollow so they can't use that
Yeah.
effect to
Yep.
summon a tier element and send the top 5.
That's big.
Kelbeck is huge. It's one of the best things you can have in the mirror match.
And having it in hand means that Quantum Think not only had the Kick Close Set 3 Pass, but also further insulation against the mirror match against Jesse Cotton.
Quantum Think making Cotton think.
Hey!
And
Oh, there it is.
talk about good cards in the mirror match. Triple Tactic Talent, one of the exclusively best cards in the mirror match because you're almost guaranteed that they're going to be activating effects during the main phase. And he's going to take his opponent's Kick Hollow.
Yeah, oh yeah, you like getting rid of my Kick Hollow, so I'll just take yours instead. How about that?
Yeah, he's going to probably try and use it to fusion summon,
Oh,
but he
wow.
has Super Polarization.
I mean, when you think about the back roll that this deck will play, you have to keep track of Super Poly. And Quantum Think says, no, that in fact is my Kick Hollow.
The best part about the Super Polarization, it is his Kick Hollow, so that means it's going to his graveyard.
Oh.
He's going to get the fusion
resolve
summon,
it.
and he's going to get to send the 5 cards from his deck to the graveyard. This is one of the best cards you can have in the mirror match.
Kelbeck and the Super Polymerization. huge for Quantal Think.
But
Jesse could be in trouble.
Table C is over, and
It
Raymond is the winner. So
All right, Team 7 sticking in it. They
tying
pick
the
up their
score.
second win, 2-2 now.
I see a Medora going to the graveyard. This is looking bad for Jesse actually
Yeah,
now.
but this is great news because this means we are going to the third set of games no matter what.
I
So
mean, from the team leader's
Yeah.
sheer grit and making sure he's at least winning his games, he's
Exactly.
going to push it to another match.
Now table A looks like not a great board state
So the cool
for
part
the
about
North American representative.
The cool part about Keldo and Medora in the mirror match, you usually want to use yours if your opponent has one of the two in the graveyard to target their Keldo and Medoras to force them to either use it or choose them to go back into the
Yeah.
deck before you have to activate another effect. And that's what we see happening here.
tough spot here for Jesse, but still able to continue. As you mentioned, it's also interesting with the shared pool. Where is the Zeus? Do you think it could be in this deck? Because then, you know,
It's tough, yeah.
You do have 2 4s. You could just go into a rank 4 and then try and go into a Zeus.
Yeah, a lot of times in the mirror match, you go into like a Dweller so you can use the effect. So you can go into Zeus, and then when you Zeus everything to the graveyard, it won't trigger any of the effects on the field.
That's a good point.
But he might be trying to find a way to clear up the field and then still have Abyss Dweller on the field. But with no cards in hand, maybe that Dweller into Zeus will be Jesse's one way of winning the game. And Snow being in the graveyard, that's Jesse's favorite card.
yeah.
That really is going to change a lot of things.
Yeah. We've seen the targets in the graveyard. You can just banish those now and have this in hand, too.
Maybe Jesse's not out of it quite just yet. His favorite card is Fairy Tale Snow, and he's showing us why right here, right now in the World Championship.
not once per turn, gonna change
Not
the
once per
same
chain.
Snow. Yeah.
Even.
Yeah. We're up to Chain Link 7. Between everything on the board, everything in the graveyards, and it will resolve. Jesse Cotton showing why he is so feared in this deck on this matchup.
At the same time, Table A, a Trishula just hit the field for Josh in what looks like a dominant position.
This would be big for Jesse. If you can win this, it's now even 3-3 going into that final game. If you lose, Team 7 needs to sweep. They have to win.
Yeah, this game is huge. Jesse really needs to win this game because you can almost, I mean, Table A, it is, that's a lot of cards in hand. I don't think Josh is going to lose this one.
It's looking unlikely that Team 7 will pick up the win, so that means Jesse Cotton's got to focus up here. We are overlaying into that Abyss Dweller.
And we go to the battle phase, so for now, gonna try and clear everything except for that Rule Kalos, it seems like. But what are those 2 face downs?
Yeah, he hasn't used them. I imagine they have to be infinite impermanence he might be holding on to for quite some time if that is in his deck list.
I
Could be.
suppose.
Maybe a
He
second.
knows that when you're going second, or when Cheerleman's trying to have the backlash, you want to save an infinite impermanence for something like Zeus.
Interesting. I mean, he's forced to use it now, so Jesse very well played here, can just chain the Dweller, and that will do nothing.
Puts the Snow back in the graveyard to be resummoned
Yeah.
again. I think this is what he was trying to go for, too, because he'd be able to have an access to another rank 4. He has that Baguska backup if he absolutely needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here Quanto gonna keep his Rhinoheart by sending the Kelbeck instead.
So the Abyss Dweller didn't battle.
No, so I'm guessing there is no Zeus in this deck. That is the shared pool.
But maybe that was a little bit of mind games, because does Quantal Think know that?
Does Quantal think that?
Does Quantal think that? We do have the Dark Charmer coming out here. Link climbing slightly. As we'll take the Hadness. And now go into, a Sprite Elf.
Yeah, Dark really good at giving you access to Sprite Elf. As long as your opponent has a Dark when you don't have those level 2s on board, you can go into that Link too.
But the Diviner.
I love Diviner and Tearlaments. It gives you access to Baron to floor. As you're able to send a level 4, you can put that Medora in the graveyard to use in the mirror match. And you always have a 4 and a 6, level 10 Synchro. It could be Chang Ying. It's either Chang Ying or Baron here. It might be Chang Ying.
We have confirmation Table A. Blue team has won. Snipe Hunters is now up 3-2, but Jesse Cotton is keeping Team 7 in this, keeping North America in this. Baron and Sprite Elf on the field. They've already used the battle phase. So it's back over to Quantal Think's turn.
The beauty of the tournament mirror match. So many things going on. So many effects to track, but in the end, this is the result that Jesse was looking for.
Yeah, and this was beautifully executioned
by both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Now-
draw is an important one, I feel like.
Yeah,
It's all on this one top deck.
And what's that other set card? Because there is still a card that Quantal Think did not use throughout that entire turn.
Could be another Super Poly, maybe.
Oh, that's a terrifying thought.
And now we're gonna see the elf. He could. Okay, interesting. Goes for the dark.
All right.
I guess maybe he doesn't have any Merleys in there.
Oh, it's a
Havness.
That's a good top deck for sure.
Now, these next 3 cards sent to the graveyard will be crucial for Quantal Think. This could be a huge push if you get the right ones. It doesn't look bad. That was a Rhino Heart.
Yeah, cannot use the Rhino Heart right now. Let's see if there is any activation afterwards.
Yeah, dark kind of cool in the mirror match. Also, it has that effect if it's destroyed, you can add a dark monster with 1850 or less.
Yep.
So it can get you some tier limit monsters. Not too bad having on the field to bring back with Sprite Elf.
Yeah, the only problem, is that it needs to be linked summon. So right now he cannot use the effect to search if that goes away. Yeah.
I want Quantal Think. We don't have confirmation if this is waiting to trigger something that was sent to the graveyard. No, it wasn't. We're just in the battle phase.
What is Jesse's set card?
Let's see. Hold down to that.
Havness beats. Let's go.
Worst case scenario, he could keep that dark just in terms of being there, being larger than his monsters.
But if Quantal Think is able to clear that, trade the 3,000 attackers, is in a good spot, could still go into a...
It's a close one. I mean, he might
maybe
crash.
a dark of their own.
I think he might crash here. I mean, it's a difficult decision,
Yeah, I mean, really all you have is that root cause. You could go into a dark.
Yeah, because if you crash, you just go for your own dark, I guess.
Yeah.
But your opponent has the Mudora. We don't know if... I mean, I guess he has Mudora plus the snow as
Oh,
well.
yeah, the snow's huge. Yeah.
Oh, that's very important to track. That
Okay.
means the dark play is not really optional and forbidden.
This is
Droplet.
So he's going to be able to send this Scream as a cost, have that recall.
That is huge. Damage step, no interactions.
Just
goodbye,
to win
Rocalo.
this game for his team.
That's huge.
Yeah. Jesse Cotton showing up big in this second game.
I love the Forbidden Drop on the tier limit
Yeah.
deck. One of the only ways you can crack a tier limit board, too, being able to discard like a trap to play around stuff like tier limit's Prime, Manage 7. This is going to prevent him from going into that dark even, but there is a Keldo in the graveyard here from Quantal Think. Does he have 7 more he can banish for the snow, or does he let it go back? He's already banished 14, right?
Yeah.
How many
21?
cards are even left in deck at this point? No, Chain will resolve.
Yep, he
He
has
does.
7 more. Snow, the gift that keeps on giving.
Wow. Already the 4th time he has activated that effect. Punished to
It's his
28.
favorite card.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like at this point you're just out of resources. I imagine for Jesse Cotton, this should be the game-ending push then. If you're not able to close it out here, it's going to be rough. I guess the same could be said for Quantal Think. This is not the ideal field state.
Just one face down. That's all he has left in this duel. And now plays back to Jesse. We could even see that Baron's Witch, but I think he doesn't. He hasn't negated anything with it.
No,
so
he has not.
You just keep it. It's a great
Target
card.
destruction, probably hit that back
It has to
row.
be Prime, right? Tier limit's Prime. Oh, super.
It was
Super.
Super Poly.
So he had it, but had nothing to really use the fusion effect for it. Wow.
2 Super Polys set in that turn 1. And now Jesse Cotton has essentially an open field to play through.
Sprite Spring can send merrily and get you started to fusion summon.
Oh,
That's
this
great.
is not looking good for Quantal Think.
This is looking loud. It will be all down to the game 3 with a 3-3 score.
This duel required an extreme level of mastery in these decks. Jesse Cotton and what he has accomplished right here is nothing but impressive. Playing through everything Quantal Think had. Playing through the Super Poly. Playing through the kick close ping pong.
Absolutely. I mean, we did mention these are among the best players in the world, but even among the best, some players are just up there, and Jesse is just one of the best the game has ever seen. So.
And honestly,
One of the greatest I've ever seen.
Props to Quantal Think as well for even having Maxi in the first turn, still being able to make this competitive. This duel delivered everything you could have asked for in the mirror matchup.
I love me a tier limits mirror match. See if it's going to be Drago Stapelia or Rukalos. It's Rukalos.
And that's it. So
Brent takes down
Clear the
Hobbs.
field. We're going to hit some damage. It'll be down to the draw for Quantal Think.
6,000 damage for this turn. Gonna leave just a few left to his opponent. That's it. One more card, but
Can you do it?
Oh no, the other is no again. Just to
The
close
fifth
down.
time. He has to use every card he has left to clear the
Fairy
card in
Tale
hand.
Snow for the game. We thought Quantal Think would have another turn, but he does not.
What a
That is a 2-1 for North America, and we got a tied series.
It's all tied up. I couldn't ask for a better match. I'm glad Jesse got to put on his show. Both of them playing incredible. That's what I love about the tournament mirror match. You really get to bring out
What
the
a
best
game.
in the players. You have to really be calculating everything, knowing when to use your Medora, your Keldo, to force out your opponent's effects. I mean, going back to when it was in the TCG, I talked to Jesse. He was like, yeah, it's usually right to always mill 5. You always want to send those 5 cards from the deck to the graveyard every time, even in the mirror match, especially when it's your own turn, because it's always quite advantageous. You just have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, not everyone would do it, but there's a reason that the one who did it is here at the finals, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and we have seen 50 cards that turn. And I mean, I remember back in the day, Jesse was doing the same for the TCG. It was like, I know I'm better than most duelists. So when you use the effect and you send those cards, that means there are more options. The game gets more complicated. So that makes sense.
And now it's a tied series.
Crazy.
This next game will determine who is world champion. After a duel like that, I got what's Quantal Think processing right now? Like, how are the nerves? You just had to go against just gotten in the mirror matchup. Very tough getting maxied right away. Still trying your best to play through it. You have to reset. You have to somehow refresh yourself for another duel.
Take a breath.
But now, out of just the elimination process, we do know the final matchup. So maybe we can speculate about how we think that's going to happen.
I'm down.
Because as we have seen now, it's down to Quantal Think. The decision is, does he want to play Tier Element for the 3rd time, or does he want to switch over? And he's going to be up against Raymond Dai to decide.
Who is undefeated. Ray's been going incredibly well so far. Had the Sword Soul in that last duel. What do we think about Sword Soul versus Tier Elements?
I don't think it's a good matchup for that one. I think I'd much rather stick with the Sprite.
Okay.
So that could be, I would definitely stick with the Tier Element if I was Quantal Think. But on the other end, I think we are going to have that Josh against Jesse matchup, right?
No, tell you it ain't so. It's coming down to Josh versus Jesse in the finals.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes. That,
Honestly,
you could not write it better.
Oh, we did it, Konami.
Great,
we
great
scripted this. This is scripted, all
Great
scripted.
script. Yeah, absolutely.
If you know
All
anybody,
according to
if you know
plan.
anybody who is not watching live right now, shoot them a message, give them a call. You have to watch this next duel. This next game will determine everything in a momentous occasion. North America versus Europe in the World Finals.
Absolutely, but the last match is also a decided one, the one between Ryan Yu and obviously Emre.
Yep.
We could have that Labyrinth mirror match as well. That's an option. We haven't seen much of Labyrinth yet in this finals. I'm down for that. So
Can you imagine?
And Ryan Yu, notoriously known for being a really good Labyrinth player from the TCG.
Yep.
He did really well with the deck. He just picked it up the night before. He's assuming he's played with it a lot since then.
Yeah.
It's just really incredible. I mean, coming down to the last 2 wins, like it was first to 5, now it's the first to 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I predicted it was going the distance, if you recall.
yeah, and at the same time, at the moment, he is the one who is at least feeling like he's letting his team down with the Zo-Ochu starter, while Raymond, the leader, is really carrying him. So I would expect Ryan now to push, and get that win for the final round. He really needs it. Otherwise, I think he would be quite disappointed.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
So we just got the Tier Element mirror to be the decider of that last round.
Yeah.
The other 2 matches are going to split 1-1, the other 2 duels.
Yeah.
And then it's Labyrinth Mirror. And that's going to determine Worlds. Nobody else is playing Labyrinth. It wasn't on other players' radars, other teams' radars, but the 2 teams that made finals chose to play that deck. I feel like there'd be some poetry.
I'm down. And I'm pretty sure that we might get to see that one on stream. I think it's Stable C, which is Emre's stable, and I'm pretty sure we get to see Emre against Ryan. So that would be a good one.
I mean, just speaking to it, if Ryan did lose the first 2 games as he did, I wouldn't count him to lose 3 in a row. So
Exactly.
this is it's all in his favor.
We know he's a good duelist. We know he's got it in
incredible
him.
world champion.
I imagine that the audience will be voting for one particular. duel, though. Maybe the Jesse versus Josh. We'll see if we're treated with that
Yeah,
one or what it will be
absolutely.
at the end, as it does often rotate around. So, but either way, I mean, we'll see it on the screen. I can't believe. I mean,
And
this is why we were so excited for this match, is because we get to see
Yeah.
these legendary duelists against each other.
And also, as a final reminder, there is a chance that the third game doesn't even matter, because if the first two are over,
Good point.
this is over. The third duel will not even continue. Like, they need to just win 2 out of the 3 to become world champions.
Yeah.
So we gotta keep an eye on that. We gotta keep an eye on the speed as well, you know.
If I'm them on stage, I'm saying, look, even if we do lose in the first 2, let us play out the third one. Come on, we made it to the world stage. Let's have some fun with it. But
Sure.
it does determine the winner already.
Yeah.
I
And
really hope it comes down to that last game.
I hope it
Starts
does, too.
Just kind of like this round.
Same,
It was 1-1, and that was a really
Yeah.
impactful game to even out the series, or just to be down to only need the other team to win one game. Like, Jesse had to win
Yeah.
that game to really give his team a
Yeah,
chance.
NA is so happy that Jesse is the pilot for that tier limit matchup, that mirror match, because if they were down, that means that they would have to win 3 in a
Yep.
row. They have to take all of them and sweep, which is very hard to do. We haven't seen many
No.
teams. I don't think we've seen any team do it on stream.
No, at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, the level is up there. I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
get much higher than this, so it makes sense that that's what just happened. But yeah, one more.
While the players are getting ready on the stage for what could be their biggest duel, definitely the biggest duel of the year, maybe biggest duel in their careers so
Yeah.
far, being the first
I would
ever
say so.
Master Duel World Champion. Let's take some time to go over some of the other matchups that we could expect to see. Starting with some duels that you want to highlight, some of the players, and
Yeah.
go talk about the 2 decks that they have as options
Let's
and how they
quickly
interact
talk
with each other.
about Jesse against Joshua. So,
Okay, let's do it.
Joshua switched around his decks, and he has, as we have seen, the option to stick in and win it with the Naturia. Let's see if that's gonna be the case.
We're in to the series determining game. North America versus Europe to determine the first ever Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship for Master Duel.
There they are, and as confirmed, it is Josh against Jesse,
Yep.
Quantal against Ray, and Emre against Carmano. You can see they're smiling, probably thinking about which decks to pick. One last time, one last decision.
It all comes down to this, a long year of competition.
And see, look at Ryan crossing his
Yeah.
fingers for that coin flip, I think.
He did that after before game 1, too,
Yeah.
and it didn't work out so well. I wouldn't do it if it didn't work out the first time.
Either the coin flip or maybe that, hey, I read the right deck to choose
Yeah.
into what they are picking. We'll have all the information here shortly.
Let's take a look at these coin flips. Could be a good one. And as expected,
Yep.
we are seeing Emre. Oh, and
Martha.
Maxi on Martha.
This is
Exo
huge.
Sisters being played by Emre.
Did not go for the Labyrinth deck.
Yeah.
Table B, I see a Primeval Planet Pelorino getting stopped by Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs as well.
So Josh, actually, I think completely whiffed. Josh activated just his branded spell and passed. Wow.
Oh, table 8 not going well for Snipe Hunters. We'll keep our eyes on it.
A complete brick, maybe some bestials, and that's about it, I guess.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Not ideal.
Gonna
We'll
add
have to
Vadis
guess
off
that.
of the packs. So the thing about Exo Sisters, even if you get max seed, leaving up your monster states on the field, not too bad.
Yeah.
If a card
Yeah.
leaves the graveyard, moves them somewhere else, you're going to be able to use them as the 1-card materials to exceed some of those Exo Sister monsters as a quick effect.
And some of their back row is able to set that up for them as well.
Very
so let's
true.
see what Carmano wants to do here on the follow-up and what Carmano is playing in this matchup.
Oof. But I see that normal summon Mudora as well, which is gonna be huge. But
So-
now, back to it.
Sophia lets them draw a card there.
Yeah. So the question is Carmano on Labyrinth or is he on Dragon Link? And we see the Maxi. And if that's Labyrinth, that's not gonna be
That's
helpful at all.
fine. Let's see what Carmano decided to go for. What?
So he just went for the straight up read that that's Dragon Link. Because otherwise
Yeah.
it makes no sense to use this Maxi here.
We do see the tier elements at the other tables. Jesse's already into an early Time Thief Rewinder.
That's a bold move to just
Yeah.
activate the Maxi. You play around the talent, but if you're up against Labyrinth, you really want to keep that. So
Yeah, to chain
you
to
know?
like a Welcome Labyrinth or a big Welcome Labyrinth.
that's a huge risk here.
And we have a
Ooh.
called by answer.
So it is Dragon Link indeed for Ryan. No Labyrinth at all in this finals.
Now we're going to resolve the chain here. Exo Sister deck starting to come online still. Ray has these cards.
I love how it points at the graveyard
It does.
specifically.
It's great. It's just a big old finger. That one. Get it out of here.
But now he can use his Exo Sisters.
I believe so.
That's the amazing feature.
Because the opponent moved a card from the graveyard.
I think that's why Carmano was taking so long to decide, is this called by worth it? Which tells me this is Dragon Link.
And here comes Martha. It's going to Exceed summon maybe from Mikalis or
there
Ophiel.
Another, yeah. This is tough.
You could lock out the graveyard also with Capsule.
All the Exo Sister fans are ecstatic right now.
I mean, yeah, being able to trigger all 3 Exo Sister monsters, having 3 different namespaces on the field to access all the different Exo Sister extra deck monsters. I remember talking to you about Magnifica being an Exo Sisters.
Yep.
Because there's 2 of them on there.
Look at them. Even in the artwork, even in the lore.
So cool. And the effect, it can attack twice.
Cool.
I love it how it all comes together. These paranormal investigators going to the extra deck.
Michaelis coming out to start things off. Let's see what the other 2 decisions are. How do we feel about Dragon Link's ability to get through a field like this?
It's tough. He's going to need some sort of card to deal with the board. The Mikalis has that quick effect to banish.
Yep.
The Capsule can lock out the graveyard. But if there's a deck that can do it, Dragon Link might be able to have enough ways to push through it.
Maybe this would come down to table B then, because table A, it still looks like Jesse Cotton's in a dominant position based on the setup from Josh. Table B, Sprite versus Tearlament.
But we're seeing an amazing opening by Quantum Think. So it's looking like, I think, Team Blue has the advantage for now. But
yeah,
watch,
Sophie's going
to right here from Carmano. Let's see it.
He's still not going to be able to use that graveyard since Sophie's summoned.
So honestly, that cold buy was not an easy decision.
Yeah.
Ooh, Gibbering, okay.
No card effects in the graveyard. Tough.
Yep. It is going to be difficult for Carmano to try and climb out of this one. Dark Ruler no more!
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about!
That changes everything.
I think the timing of him thinking on the call by really wanting to use it might have been a bait, making him think that he was having a tough decision, but he really wanted to force out all those effects just so he could Dark Ruler no more. Either way, it wouldn't matter too much, but definitely exciting here for Ryan Yu if he has any follow-up.
Yeah, at the same time, no card effects in graveyard. That effect already resolved.
Yep.
So still something to keep in mind. And we see a Rocket Tracer to start things off.
Now there is still a lot of back row that I can play with. It does not end here for Carmano. Ryan has a lot more to play to and more decisions to make.
And at the same time, on table A, when you drew a lot of Bestials, although you break, those are amazing against Tearlament, and it seems like Josh is still in a good position now.
Yeah, facing down just the Time Thief Redoer and the Tearlament Scream. Not too much in opposition there. But we see Chaos Space being activated here from Ryan. He's going to chain that quick effect of Rocket Tracer to destroy the Chaos Space. He's going to be locked into Dark Monsters from the extra deck, but he's going to be able to special summon a level 4 Rocket from the deck like Rocket Recharger.
And still get the effect of Chaos Space. One of the powerful parts of this Dragon Link, and it's Chaos Dragon Levianeer that's picked up.
Great at breaking boards.
Makes sense, makes sense. I mean, everything is committed for Emre to the field, so if you get that Levianeer to just destroy 2 cards, that's great.
We're going to use the Returnia now.
So he got the Vadis because he already had the Returnia.
Yeah, that was unknown, and that's a great one.
So this is going to let him go into Magnifica.
Yeah, that's tough.
And I believe, that's normal summon.
Going to banish the Tracer out. They're going to get rid of the Tuner.
We haven't used Tracers. Oh, no, we have used Tracer's effect, so I'm wondering what other options now.
This is quite tough, because now obviously the Magnifica is not affected by the Dark Ruler no more.
Yep.
Has that quick effect to banish as well, as long with being able to tag it or put another Exceed monster on top of it when your opponent activates a card or effect. So he's going to try and get the dragons off the field before they can go into something like Striker Dragon.
Yep.
This is not looking
2
good.
cards in hand.
Yeah, he still has to deal with the Vadis as well.
The last
Ryan
card
has a Bestial Magnamut. Wow, what a opening hand from Ryan.
But now we see the Vadis, and the thing is, those Exo Sisters will be able to use their effects. Obviously, those who have not yet.
Very true, very true. The layers to the interactions you can have where you don't have to commit all your monster effects and have these 2 trap cards that lets you play through something like Dark Riddle or more. Fantastic.
I think Ryan realizing it, crossing your fingers sometimes just curses you, didn't I?
I don't cross my fingers. I cross my toes.
Oh, that's a secret.
It's all about them not being able to see it.
Don't reveal the information until it comes out. Ellis comes out.
And as you can see here, Stella, the only Exo Sister case, we have seen 3 already activating that effect this turn.
But this one can use its effect, and we got another Michaelis on the field.
And Michaelis will be able to use that effect to banish now.
Yeah.
We're just battle phase, trying to hit in.
I think Ryan is in tough spot.
Yeah, I don't imagine this duel lasting much longer.
It's over.
Yeah.
I think Ryan's letting his teammates know I lost.
Unfortunately, just told his teammates about this. If there is nothing in the graveyard, this is about it.
And I'm seeing right now, table A, super polymerization coming down. Oh, that's really good for Josh. Oh no, it's actually Jesse's.
Yeah, it's Jesse's using it, but here, as you mentioned, it seems like Carmano will go with that 0-3 performance in the finals. Unfortunately, heartbreaking for him.
That is heartbreaking. Hoping that the rest of the team's able to get them across the finish line. This would be Snipe Hunters 4 out of 5 duels won necessary to be champions.
I mean, this might be one of the strongest starts I've ever seen from Exo Sisters, even into a Max C.
Absolutely. I've never seen that many XYZ summoned,
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. And having both traps is tough.
Yeah. Through the Maxi.
Still in hand. We're still going deeper into this one. We got enough damage on the field. Do we just hit in now? Battle phase. Emre looking to end it. Looking to put his team 1 duel away from being the first ever Master Duel World Champions.
And that's it. Once again, Emre winning.
Emre, an incredible performance. Team win or lose, and an individual performance for the ages. Now, we see Quantal Think versus Ray.
Ray has to win this game for his team, otherwise it will be all over.
Seems like a very tough spot. Probably we have seen a Gamma Burst earlier on, I'm guessing.
We're in turn 2, main phase 2.
Meta noise.
Oh, this is a big one.
That can put Gigantic Sprite face down, no response.
This could be over already.
And it sends Hovness.
You mentioned if a team wins 2 duels, that third doesn't even matter.
And that third, the hyped up match we talked about, Jesse against Joshua, might not even matter for the World Championship title.
And that one looks close too. That's not decided either. Quantal Think in a very powerful field state right now.
You can see Raymond shaking his head. I think he knows.
No. Ray's not feeling it. Table C already went to Snipe Hunters. They just need 1 more victory.
And this might be it.
And this is still on Ray's turn in main phase 2. So Quantal Think will have an entire other turn to go deeper into the engine.
Here comes Drago.
Get out more cards. Draco Stapelia on the field.
And that's it. We just passed back to Quantal, who is just moments away from possibly becoming a world champion and carrying his teammates alongside him.
6,600 life points is all that stands between Quantal Think and a world championship title. 1 set monster as well, if we want to get into the technical.
Tearlament's Grief working like a foolish barrel here, being able to special summon a Tearlament monster. And then you have to send a monster inside the field to the graveyard.
This totally seems like it's over. You can use Perle Rhino, destroy that Gigantic, and just attack for a game. That's pretty much it. Wow.
Not imagining anything in Ray's hands that could be the difference maker here. Quantal Think.
Avoid misclicks at all costs.
Yeah. This is a high pressure moment. Lost the mirror match in Tearlaments, but a couple of attacks directly will win the duel, will win championships, and there you have it. Quantal Think has done it for the team. Snipe Hunters, the European representatives, are your first ever Master Duel World Champions.
Amazing.
Wow.
Both teams deserved it, but this team walking away with it, representing the EU, Joshua Schmidt, Emery, and Quantal Think.
Wow. What a performance.
What an ending, and as mentioned, in the end, that one match did not even matter between Joshua and Jesse, but what a performance by everyone involved in this finals. Great matches, 9 unbelievable games. Wow.
Everyone carrying their weight from Snipe Hunters, Joshua Schmidt, Jack Rory, Steam Gamer, and Emre Isilates. An incredible performance
Yu-Gi-Oh!
for the
World
ages.
Championship 2020.
And there they are.
One of the greatest players to ever do it.